Good morning, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direction for all that is sports. Well, guys, high school football playoffs are here, and Division One had a shakeup that none of us saw coming. We'll get into that in just a little bit, and of course, high school football around the country, playoffs coming for everybody if they're not already there. So plenty to get into with that stuff. Then, of course, we are going to ease our way into the 3C2A because, well, we got some playoffs to talk about there as well. Is it this week? No. Is it next week? Oh, yeah. Got some bowl games to discuss, and, of course, who is in those quarterfinals and who is awaiting those teams coming from those quarterfinals and the semis. We got some fun stuff to talk about at the 3C2A, the Junior College Association of California. Then, of course, NJCAA. We're getting into the championships, well, the division championships of those. Playoffs coming soon. Clear cut 2 at the top. I think we know who we're talking about. We'll get into that. Of course, Division 3, this is week number 10. This right here, we're down to the nitty-gritty. This is the end. And, well, we're going to figure out who is going to be seeded. Right now, that's what it's all about. For Division 2 and Division 3, actually. Who's going to be seeded where? Who can get the best chance to get on into them playoffs and be seated in the best place possible? And then, of course, we have ourselves NAIA action. The second to last poll was released this last week. Playoffs are coming for these guys as well. They're fighting for the best possible slots in that 16-team playoff, just like Division 3 and Division 2. FCS, well, we're a small little ways away from the playoffs here, but they're coming soon. So looking at the final big ranked-on-ranked games before we head on to the playoffs. And then, of course, a little bit of FCS. We got a nice little Saturday Night Football tonight. Who will be playing? We'll get into that. And, of course, our NFL picks for tomorrow and our first game in Madrid, in Spain. So excited for all that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a new look in our new graphic back there. I'm excited. Teran's excited. We're ready to rock and roll, baby. Let's do this. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sport. Welcome, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, football fans around the world, appreciate you guys so very much, man. You guys are amazing, and I'm just super excited, man, to be here today. And, of course, to show off our new graphic. Just giving y'all, you already saw it in the very beginning, but just saying, check it out. I mean, is that not awesome? Come on now. Come on, a little AI magic. But, you got me over there on the left. You got Mr. Teran over there on the right. Just saying, supporting our favorite team colors. And, of course, here to talk some football. Well, in order to bring in that man over here and give him a quick little introduction to jump on in, talk some football today, of course, he is the host of our volleyball show here on IE Sports Radio, covering all things volleyball. They're getting ready for them playoffs very soon here. And then, of course, well, big tournament for them, that is. And then, of course, our SoCal insider and host of this show, 3 and Out. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? Good morning.
Hey, Larry. Great to be on. Hope you have dodged the rain for the most part, and hope everyone else has stayed safe from the rain. Hope everyone's staying dry and whatnot, because it is pouring down here.
No, it is. Yeah, seriously. Teran and I are about 60 miles apart, and yeah, it's the same story over here. Not too fun. Kind of annoying. Very, very, very... well, it was rainy earlier, so we got a little bit of a late start here on the show, but not too bad regardless, though. Just hope everything's good and the internet don't get knocked out for the duration of the show. But, yeah, man, so little rain, no biggie. We're still here. We're still getting it. So, all right, Teran. Well, before anything, man, let's go ahead and jump on into, as we usually do, let's see here. Okay, so there were some. We're going to just kind of do what we did last time, of course, as well, and kind of just get into We'll do the NFL first because, of course, we left off on Sunday Night Football from last week. And we'll get into a little bit of college from this past week and then jump on into high school, then do our usual. But, all right, Darren. So, brief little discussion here on these games from last week, man. Oh, well, actually, first things first. You like our banner?
Absolutely love it.
Freaking sweet, right? I love it. It's so excited to have it, man. But okay, anyway, all right, let's get down to business. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. All right, Sunday Night Football. Good stuff as always, right? Gotta love a good Sunday Night Football game to end off week number 10. And, well, it's kind of what we thought it would be, right? Darren, this was a crazy game, man. Super crazy game. Your LA Chargers went head to head. Oh, whoopsies. Where my notes are flipping around. Sorry. Let's try that one more time. Okay, there we go. Your LA Chargers, man, just went ahead and did what they did, man. Herbert looked great. 20 for 33. 220 yards, 1 touchdown. Vidal almost a century mark on the ground, man, 95 yards. McConkey went over 100. He looked great, man. He gets 4 receptions, 107 yards. You guys looked really, really, really good. The Steelers just didn't. The Steelers looked like they just kind of were there for the vacation to LA. I don't know. I don't know, man. This team looked really just lackluster. Like, it didn't look like, there was a lot of umph there. But for you guys, full on, man. The Chargers look pretty good. You should be excited for these guys, man. So your thoughts on Sunday Night Football as the Chargers defeat the Steelers 25-10 at home?
Yeah, it was a rather great game for the Chargers. I think maybe the Steelers might have used up most of its big defensive plays or had a little bit of a letdown spot after their big win over the Colts. And that definitely can happen when it comes to a big win and like that, and then going out west and playing in a primetime game against a team like the Chargers. The Chargers needed this win in the worst way just to keep up with the Broncos and keep up with the rest of the AFC. So I think it was a great win for the Chargers. It might be their most convincing win of the season just because they haven't had too many of those. So I thought it was a great win for the Chargers. And hopefully for the Chargers' sake, their O-line can what really impressed me is that their offense really was fluid. Even though the O-line did allow the Steelers to get theirs, the defense really answered the call. I mean, they only gave up 1 offensive touchdown in the last, 4 quarters or last 8 quarters of the last 2 games that they've played. So I think for the Chargers defense, it's a testament to see how they've progressed and how they answer the call whenever the offense does their part. So I think the Chargers are playing great football as of late. And again, hopefully for their sake, they could ride the momentum into Jacksonville this weekend because they need all the wins that they can get to stay with the Broncos in the AFC West and throughout the entirety of the AFC altogether because the AFC is very competitive.
Oh yeah, man. You guys looked good. Like, honestly, you guys looked really good. I like what I saw with you guys, man. I mean, Herbert and the Chargers are now 7-3, and you guys handle business on a Sunday night. I mean, again, the Steelers dropped to 5-4 now. It is, 25-10 at home. Herbert throws for over 200 yards. I think 220 to be precise. 1 touchdown. Khalil Mack had a safety, didn't he? He had a safety in this game. Lab McConkey, like I said, just went off, man, 107 yards. I mean, yeah, LA now makes it 3 straight wins at SoFi, by the way, man. So these guys are looking really good. And yeah, Teran, I mean, really, you guys look like, this team looks like a good, strong, balanced football team at the moment. And I'm just hoping for your guys' sake that, honestly, it just continues, that the success continues. It's true. The Broncos were a big surprise this year. You guys, are right there in the, in the balance. Obviously, the only team that's not a threat right now in this division is obviously the Raiders, my team. But if you look at it right now, I mean, it's going to be a steep hill, because it's true. You have this very strong Broncos team at top of the AFC West right now, and it's going to be a really fun battle. It's going to be really fun watching these teams play, man. coming on up here. But yeah, any last comments here on the Chargers?
I think for the Steelers, they really got to get together. I think this is a little concerning for them just because they had a big lead in the AFC North. Now it's starting to dwindle down because you know who's riding their coattails? The Ravens. And you want to know who's getting healthy by the day? The Ravens for the most part. So I think that AFC North battle is going to be really, really interesting going forward just because the Steelers do have some favorable schedules down the stretch, and so do the Ravens. So it just goes to show you that a few losses here and there could derail your season. So it'll really be interesting to see what the AFC North has in store for us.
No, that's true, man. We have some great football coming down the stretch. And well, speaking of great football, let's get on into the game that was played the very next day. And of course, that is the Monday Night Football game from this past week. What a weird ending. Oh my gosh. Crazy ending. Crazy game for the most part. Some people called it boring. I called it awesome because of the low score defensive battle it was. But dude, this was crazy. Monday Night Football, man. Fly, Eagles, fly, soar again. Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown. Clutch touchdown to Devontae Smith. And newcomer Jalen Phillips led a stifling Eagles defense as the Philadelphia Eagles edge out the Packers 10-7. So once again, guys, Jalen Hurts threw a clutch touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. Just major X factor here. And newcomer again, Jalen Phillips just led a really, really strong defense here for these Eagles. 10-7. Eagles get it done, defeating the Packers under the lights in Lambeau on Monday Night Football. Josh Jacobs, he punched in the Packers' lone touchdown, but the Packers just came up short. How about this game, man?
Yeah, it was a rather interesting game. I thought both defenses really showed up and showed out. I thought the Eagles, they were able to eke out some plays. What I don't understand is why they went for it on fourth down on their final drive of the game. So it just, that play really boggled my mind. Just pin Green Bay deep. They have no timeouts. All they just need to do is pin them deep, and then they would have to pretty much play pitchy woo woo and whatnot. Eventually, Green Bay missed the field goal as it looked like it was blocked. So I just think that both these teams' offenses have really got to get together, especially Philadelphia. I mean, the entire NFC is getting extremely competitive, and the Eagles just seem to show signs of incompetence now and then, especially since now they're on a short week and they have the Detroit Lions on primetime, which is going to be a very, very good matchup. And then Green Bay, on the other hand, don't look now, but there is a new leader in the NFC North, and that is the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So Green Bay has really got to get back on track. They have a matchup with the Giants, which is going to be interesting just because I hear it's going to be raining up there as well. So that's not going to be a freebie by any means. So Green Bay has really got to figure it out soon. Otherwise, they could pretty much find themselves out of the NFC North race.
No, and that's exactly what we're looking at, man. So this was a very, very fun week in the NFL. We are now 10 weeks in. Week 11 just started this week. And, well, let's just go ahead and continue it, Teran. Thursday Night Football. Eagles and Packers gave us a crazy game on Monday night. Well, yesterday's game, 2 days ago on Thursday night, it wasn't a crazy game, but we saw the Jets look like a football team for the first time in a while. Obviously, you have a rivalry here, but the sparks faded fast, Teran. It just didn't look. I don't know. I hate to say this, man, but Fields, I don't know what to say about him. I really don't. But following from Foxborough, man, the Patriots rolled to a 27-14 victory behind another monster night from Trayvon Henderson. 3 total touchdowns and a sharp outing for Drake May, of course, who's really making a name for himself. He's starting to really come into his own. Justin Fields, obviously, as I just said, he showed some flashes early for the Jets, but New England's defense really clamped down and closed the door on them. They are now 9-2 on the year. this Patriots team is looking like the Patriots team of old right now. I wouldn't say completely, but hey, they're 9-2 when they honestly shouldn't even be 9-2. They've been horrible the last couple of years, and somebody finally flipped the switch. And you know what? I'll take it. So, and that switch to me, of course, is their great coach, of course. We all know. Super excited for him because, he's the man. And you know what? I really think he really is the guy there, man. Mr. Mike Vrabel, a guy that I looked up to when I played high school football back in the day, man. This guy was a machine on the field, and he really is making some things happen over there in New England. So, Teran, Patriots knock off the Jets. The Jets are just a sad story. There's really nothing more to say about those guys. Obviously, go in on them if you'd like. But the Patriots, man, these guys are a hot topic right now.
Yeah, I just feel Justin Fields doesn't have the tools to succeed with the Jets. And the Jets are just an absolute clown car, if you ask me. So, again, Justin Fields obviously had himself a turnover off of a botched snap. But I just feel that Justin Fields just doesn't have the tools. He didn't have Garrett Wilson, who was out who's on IR. They couldn't get the run game going as much. Their passing game was absolute dog water. And this was pretty much the Travion Henderson show for the Patriots. He went off with 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had a passing or receiving touchdown. I just feel that the Patriots, I would be shocked if the Patriots went back to Ramondre Stevenson when he comes back. But the Patriots, you've said it best. They have now won 8 in a row. I know most of the schedule hasn't really been the most challenging, but honestly, you can only play the teams that's on your schedule. And
right.
For the time being, it's looking like they've only got one, maybe 2 teams remaining that have a winning record, being the Bills and Ravens. So I'm going to be fascinated to see what the Patriots can do going forward, just because they've now got quite a bit of time before the next matchup against the Bengals. They got time to heal up and whatnot. And they've got the Giants, and then Ravens, and then Bills, Ravens back to back, and then they've got Jets, Dolphins to close out the season. So this team is thinking league or division championship, but they also could be thinking number 1 overall seed, which would be quite something. So Mike Vrabel, if we're talking about teams that really poached other teams in terms of letting other coaches go, the Patriots really poached the Titans in terms of getting Mike Vrabel on their staff.
They did, and I'll tell you, man, this is huge. This is so big for them because this is everything you'd want. He's everything you'd want in a coach, I mean, I know the Titans, that was just a mess. But again, it just goes to show you, put the right people around, the right coach or the right player, like Justin Fields, obviously, with the Jets, things happen. So hopefully the Jets can figure some things out. But I think they're forever in Raiderland, unfortunately. Like the Browns, Jets, and Raiders, man, and the Titans just need to make a club or something, I don't know what to say. It's sad. It's really sad. But by the way, Blue's making her debut on the show today, so round of applause for her. She's here, so she's gonna make some comments for us today. So, but yeah, man, the Patriots are looking good. They're looking like the Patriots of old, and yeah, man, I mean, 8 straight. That's insane. This team is playing great football. They lost to the Raiders and then never look back. I mean, I'm just kidding. I know that a couple of the losses. Well, one more loss in there, but I'm just saying, man, these guys really. That's probably what it is, Teran. They're so embarrassed that they lost to the Raiders in week 1. They're like, oh my gosh, no, we can't lose any more games.
As well as the loss to the Steelers, which they had their opportunities to win, but they just got in their own way.
They did. I honestly think it's crazy. My boy, man, Alexander Gaines has been on the show before. Big old Patriots fan. He even tells me, he says the only game that we actually lost this year was to the Raiders. He says, your guys just they beat us. That's what it was. Like straight up, just head to head. We lost. I'm surprised. That was our highlight. That was our Super Bowl, by the way, for the year, because the Raiders aren't doing much else. But yeah, the Steelers game they had that game, so kind of crazy, man. But all right, Teran. Well, let's go ahead and switch on and move on. We'll come back to the NFL to end out the show. But moving on over to some college football. Earlier this week, we did have some games here. I like to throw some light on these that get played on earlier on the week because they're fun games, of course. We had Kent State knocking off Akron 42-35 there on the road. We had Western Michigan defeating Ohio 17-13 at home. And then on Wednesday night, we had Central Michigan defeating Buffalo 38-19 on the season. Central Michigan now 6-4, Buffalo 5-5. We have Northern. Oh man, this is crazy. Northern Iowa 45-3 over UMass. UMass is now 0-10 on the season. That is a rough go for the Minutemen there. Toledo 24-3 over Miami of Ohio on the road on Wednesday night. Then on Thursday, well, Thursday Night Football wasn't the only Thursday Night Football on, even though this one was, they were, very less entertaining because the Jets were involved in one of those games. Regardless, the Old Dominion just blanked Troy 33-0 at home. So big victory there for Old Dominion. And then yesterday we had 2 Friday night games. One of them very close and very good. The other one horrible. Kind of funny because our guys over on our fantasy football show, the End Zone Oracle with Josh Ritter and Glenn Ritter on the Wednesday evenings. They're kind of talking about this because it's their teams. They're playing each other, Minnesota, Oregon. Well, that was a horrible game because good old Oregon just ate them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day. Poor Gophers. 42-13, number 8, Oregon, 9-1 on the season now. Minnesota now 6-4. They get 42-13 at Autzen Stadium. And then we had a very good game here. Clemson still looking a little relevant. They're 5-5 now. They're not super relevant at all. But hey, they knocked off number 20 Louisville, so you got to give them that. Louisville is now 7-3 on the year, 20-19 on the road. So a couple college games for us there, Teran. What you think?
Yeah, the Clemson Louisville game was peak ACC football, just because that seems to be the most gong show conference in terms of the entirety of the FBS, just because there's no clear-cut winner on who's going to win the conference. One week it's going to be Georgia Tech and Louisville. The next week, SMU and Virginia is in the mix. Next week, Pitt is in the mix. Mm-hmm. So it just feels like the conference that you never know what you're going to get. The conference of a box of chocolates. But yeah, Clemson winning was quite impressive, and it looks like they're going to be bowling. That's the last conference match, so obviously they're not going to be making the conference championship, but they at the very least will be going. They should at least crack 500. They've got Furman and South Carolina. I can't imagine they'll lose both of them. So this is quite an interesting turnaround, just because Clemson, obviously they started off with splitting their first 2 games, and they lost their next 2, and then they won their next 2, then they lost the next 2, and then they won their next 2. So hopefully for Clemson's sake, they don't continue the trend of 2 losses, then 2 wins, then 2 losses, then 2 wins, and then 2 more losses. I can't imagine they lose to Furman of all teams. I'm just looking at Furman's schedule right now. It's not going to happen.
No, not at all. This is a team who's on a mission, though. Take a look. Again, it was a stun. Clemson at 20-19 on the road. Adam Randall, man, runs wild. The Tigers survive a box snap and the goal line stand, man. The Cardinals, their college football playoff hopes take a massive hit. Just a heartbreaker for Louisville, man. It's a statement win for Clemson, but a total heartbreaker for Louisville. The Tigers grind out that crazy victory, man. And what do? ACC chaos at its best. And got to give some big ups to our boy Mike Pat, man. Look at this. Old Dominion representing DMV. That's right. He's there representing the DMV
Joseph,
well.
He actually, I think he's tied. He's second in terms of rushing touchdowns in the FBS behind Indiana's quarterback. Don't sleep on him. You got to remember that he was a preseason finalist for the Manning Award, which is given to one of the most prestigious quarterbacks in the FBS. So keep an eye on Colton Joseph.
That is for dang
Kojo.
Kojo. That's awesome, Jared. Well, there we go. Got a little bit of college football out of the way from earlier this week, and we got through Sunday night and Monday night football. So, all right, Teran, time to go on over. Speaking of the DMV, I know it's so mean, and I feel so bad for even bringing any of this up, but Teran, we got to get on into high school football. And, well, speaking of the DMV, our number one team in the country, I feel so bad because I know they're high schoolers, but again, this is, if you're talking about nationally ranked stuff, I like fairness, and St. Francis Academy, number one. That's it, Teran. I have overlooked their stuff, and that's it. They're done. That's it for the year. They are all done. They are 8-1, and that's it. They are just gonna ride off into the sunset, I guess. I don't know. They finished off their year, obviously. Last week, I guess, or on the 1st, when they defeated the St. James Performance Academy. I thought they might add one more game just to try to, I don't know how they would have done that. I don't know. But again, they were supposed to play the IMG Academy. For some crazy reason, when the Trendy League goes crazy and destroys itself, and Mater Dei had a weird year, and Bosco had a horrible upset. Well, not horrible upset, but lost it, and that happened with Mater Dei. I mean, Teran, all this crazy stuff happened, and again, last week the big topic of our show was, like, what the crap, I mean, I'm all for fairness. St. Francis Academy is a great school, but when you're only playing, a few major ranked teams, it doesn't make sense to be number one. They played Chaminade Madonna, they won. They played St. John Bosco, they lost. They played St. Joseph's Prep, they won that game. Okay, cool. But you're supposed to play IMG Academy at the end of the year. After that, they played somebody who forfeited, the first academy, St. Thomas More, Hun, and then this school, the St. James Performance Academy. I have no idea who any of them are. I get, you're right. You can only play who you're scheduled. I understand that. But, IMG Academy, they went 9-0. They played Hooverville, big-time team out of Alabama. Winslow Township, Coronado, big-time team out of Las Vegas, but not like super-duper high, right? I mean, they're a top 100 team, but Mandarin, Central, Venice, solid team there. East St. Louis, Hun, they went 9-0. I don't even know who varsity opponent is. I don't know if this team even on the 17th, October 17th, according to Max Preps. But what I'm saying is yeah, and then you get to the, the real giants like Mater Dei, again, who has played everybody. Just incredible gear, and even taking a few bumps, which is crazy. That's unlike them. St. Thomas Aquinas, Kahuku, who's always a nasty, crazy, hardcore team from Hawaii. Centennial, the football factory in Southern California. Bishop Gorman, the best team in Nevada. Olu, obviously. Well, then the Trinity League. Olu, Orange Lutheran, top 100 team. Santa Margarita, top 100 team. Servite, top 100 team. J. Sarah Catholic, top 100 team. St. John Bosco, top 100 team. And I mean, in the playoffs last night, defeating Mission Viejo 20-0. And then you have here St. John Bosco, who has now been eliminated, which blows my mind after last night's loss to Olu, which, again, we always talk about doesn't duck nobody. Well, that's freaking crazy. But yeah, that was a surprise to me. But Manatee, top team there out of Florida. Eastwood, okay. They defeated St. Francis Academy. You have Junipero Serra, the best team in NorCal, next to De La Salle. St. Louis, obviously, this is a major high school in Honolulu, Hawaii. We have next up, and then the Trinity League, JSR Catholic, or Orange Lutheran, Santa Margarita, Servite, Mater Dei. So again, I'm not saying that St. John Bosco's schedule is tougher than Mater Dei's, because it wasn't. Okay, but again, you put up those two schedules, St. John Bosco's and Mater Dei's, next to St. Francis Academies and IMG Academies, and the strength of schedule just isn't there. It's just not there. So it just still blows my mind that that's it. it's over. St. Francis Academy is that's it. They're done for the year. They're gonna ride off into the sunset. Grayson is the greatest public school of all time right now. These guys are amazing because they are, they're number 2 in the country. They're feeling pretty good. Okay, serves them right. IMG Academy, they're number 3 at 9-0. That's it. They're not going to play St. Francis Academy. I mean, they're not going to play St. Francis Academy. That's it. So that's going to probably be our final, Teran. I looked all week long to see if there's any rescheduling or anything. Nope. So that's going to be our national championship. To me, that's just horrible because we didn't get that, at least the St. Francis Academy, IMG Academy game. And that's it. Modern Day and St. John Bosco, despite having tougher schedules and, you had St. Francis Academy in Bishop, in Bosco go head to head, and Bosco won that game. But I guess we're just gonna crown St. Francis Academy the champs. So again, high schoolers, don't want to be too harsh, but I am for fairness and rankings. And to me, I feel like as much as I like Max Preps, they got this one wrong, Teran. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at all of the opponents that St. Francis are playing. Some of them are obviously good within their realm. Like, for example, Hun, which they played, they're actually one of the top teams from New Jersey, but nothing shows in terms of their national ranking. So they're not like nationally ranked like St. Francis is. And then the last team that they officially played, the St. James Performance Academy, that team is actually number 4 in Virginia. So, again, they're playing decent teams, but when you compare them to the Trinity League, it's not really comparable. But, again, this is the kind of the drawback that St. Francis is when they're a freelance team. This is pretty much the downside of being a freelance team. You don't have an actual state championship you play in. You don't have an actual set league that you play in, or a district or a section that you play in. And it really sucks because I think it'd be interesting to see where St. Francis lands in terms of who they would face in the best team of the DMV or Maryland. So unfortunately, fortunately for St. Francis fans, they won't have the stress of facing anybody. But this is what happens when you're a ringer. No one wants to face you, and when no one wants to face you, you're going to have to schedule on the fly. And sometimes things happen with the IMG thing where, unfortunately, they couldn't get somebody in time, or they couldn't settle on a date, and they couldn't agree to anything on time, and they had that little debacle happen.
Yeah, Teran, it sucks, but this week I was thinking about some things, and we kind of dabbled with this a little bit last week, somewhat, but Teran, what do you think that we just say screw it? Teams around the country play each other all the time anyway. This year we had Bosco play St. Francis Academy, and it was a close one. Bosco won 21-14. So how about to avoid this moving forward? What do you think, man? Football fan, lifetime football fan, blue too. Okay, all of us. All right. We've been following this for a long time. You and I have been doing this show now for a freaking decade. We've talked about these things. We talked about Modern Day in their first championship in 2017. Remember that? I mean, you know what I mean? Like we've talked about all this, and we've talked about this little thing and threw it around maybe a few times. But I think this year is the best example that you and I have had doing this show for a decade, that we truly need either some kind of national championship playoff, at least even if it's 4 teams, or Teran, screw it. Why don't we just make I don't know if it's going to be the Trinity League, if we'll call it that. Why don't we just make maybe 2 really not big, but 2 conferences around the country? I don't know about one, because the Trinity League has to be involved in it. All of them have to be involved in it because they're top 100 teams. But screw it, man. Just screw it. We got Bosco, Modern Day, Olu, Servite, J. Sarah. Let's get all these teams, right? And then just throw them in there, and let's throw Gorman in there. Let's throw IMG Academy. Let's throw St. Francis Academy in there. Let's throw some of these teams in there. It's going to be like a freaking 8. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe break it up into 2, like a higher and a lower, kind of like how we have the Big West over here. But But I'm just saying, Taryn, why not? Because that's the only way we're going to have a quote unquote true champion is if they play each other like a conference in college, because now we're going to have all these question marks of who, and that'll solve the problem of who's not going to play who, because now every year Mater Dei is going to be playing IMG and St. Francis Academy, and Bosco will be playing those two schools, and Gorman's going to be in the mix. And screw it. I mean, I know they're always flipping around down there in Texas, but hey, Duncanville, I don't know. I mean, they were the top dog for a while, but North Shore, Duncanville. I mean, why not? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but at the same exact time, is it really that crazy? We're in the digital era now, to where you and I can do this show. Taryn's in Orange County. I'm in the Inland Empire, and we're doing this show. I can send a text message to Taryn right now, and he gets it like that. He can send me one and gets it right back. Taryn, you and I could have, we have people on the East Coast watching us right now, which is awesome. Part of our own team, IE Sports Radio. I could message a friend in Australia right now, and they'll get back. I mean, see what I mean, Taryn? Like we're in an age now where communication is huge. So I know transportation may not be may not be the easiest thing, but I'm just saying the internet's huge. People want bigger, better things. In the 90s, I don't even know if this would have even been discussion because, well, I mean, but now it's just we're able to do things like this now. So why not, man? I mean, why not just make this happen? I don't know, Taryn, are you on board with that, or you see some scheduling issues or some things that could happen there that are negative? But I don't know. I kind of like the idea. What do you think?
Well, you mentioned the idea of a possible national championship. I would totally be on board with the Max Preps national championship. Get all the best ringers from all across the globe, and then have them play in like a round of or a 16 bracket, or maybe a round of 32 bracket championship, and then have those teams leave their section and not play in their respective playoffs, their respective state or section playoffs. In exchange, you play in the Max Preps National Championship Tournament, which features all the best teams throughout the United States in high school. And then basically you take all those ringers out from there, and then you place them inside this national championship, and then all the best face one another, and then it's basically competitive equity throughout most of the other teams, with the exception of maybe a couple few which might get left on the outside looking in. But I think a national tournament would be great. And Greg Biggins, who is the head honcho for 24/7 Sports, actually likes the idea. But the problem is that, and I hate to have to say this, but he said teams from Texas and Florida would not be on board with playing a whole national championship tournament like that. They don't want to fly out or anything, which I don't really find all that great. But look, we got to have a better way of crowning a national champion. I just think it would be a much better way than that. And this year, I hope, is the wake-up call, just because I think everyone who is just a really good team should get the invite saying, hello, you've been selected. Get that golden ticket like Willy Wonka, and then fly out to like maybe AT&T Stadium or something like that. Remote area, or like 4 remote areas where neutral sites where everything will be taking place, like maybe Mercedes-Benz Stadium, AT&T Stadium, heaven forbid, let's say the Rose Bowl or SoFi, anything along those lines. Like, let's have ourselves an actual better way to crown a national champion.
I agree 100%, man. I know those are just high schoolers, and I get it, but these are major high schools. These guys are some of the guys who are going to be going into the league one day. They're going to be going to Division I. You know that. They're going to be playing Division I football somewhere. So screw it. They're going to be at that level one day. They're going to be playing. So a lot of people say, well, they're playing so many games. Yeah, but it's because it's preparing them for what's to come one day in their future. They're playing football, and these guys are good enough. They're big enough. They're strong enough, So I don't know, man. It's crazy. Not everybody's going to make it, but it's really cool because, hey, why not? Why not get on board with these big high schools, man? I mean, some of these private schools, parents pay a lot of money for these kids to play there. Some of these public schools, well, people just move there to play because the coach is prestige and everything. So I'm just saying, man, at the end of the day, this is something that I would like to see worked out again. It is what it is. hey, St. Francis Academy, looks like you're the champs. Congratulations. What more can you say? But I just feel, I think Mater Dei or Bosco deserves it, just because, well, after last night, if Mater Dei finishes out, I think they deserve it. But Bosco, obviously, we'll get into those in a few seconds, Darren. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Whatever. IMG. Some people will say IMG Academy deserves it. They're 9-0. They look like, some people say they have a tougher schedule than St. Francis Academy, just because they're ranked ahead of them to start the season. That's the only reason why they're ranked ahead of them. But they're undefeated. They had a tougher schedule than Grayson, who's number 2. I mean, people can make an argument for IMG Academy, but at the end of the day, man, after Bosco lost last night, so we'll start there. Teran, we always say it, Olu don't duck nobody. Trinity League, crazy game. Earlier this year, Bosco already had their share of Olu in their life. Earlier this year, and well, it was a nice little 48-0 victory. Yeah, at Olu back on the 10th of October. Well, Teran, that Olu team was a different football team when they played last night, and upsets Bosco 20-19. That is major upset here. I don't know if that one's bigger or if this one on top is bigger, but Olu I think is bigger because they're not even, they're top 100 team, but they're not top 25 ranked. But man, Regan Toki finds Nico Bland 67-yard bomb. The King Ricks Johnson seals it, man. King Ricks, man, what a deal here. Pick 6. Bosco scores late, but misses the extra point. Lancers move on. Or this game that was even crazier here in the Division I championship or the Division I playoffs. Number 12, Santa Margarita upsets number 7, Sierra Canyon. What the crap? Carson Palmer's boys are playing. Number 12, Santa Margarita stuns Sierra Canyon. Number 7, Sierra Canyon, 21-9 in the CAF Southern Section Division I gauntlet. Trace Johnson hits Ryan Clark for 2 scores while Carson Palmer continues his first crazy miracle season. Eagles keep dancing on. Mater Dei, they cruise past Mission Viejo. Number 6 in the country, Mater Dei shuts out Mission Viejo 20-0 behind Malachi Roby. Man, it's crazy. Kenny Leggett powering the ground game. I mean, defense, they played a masterclass. Monarchs now move on to face the team that they lost to that started their downfall this year, number 5, Centennial. Centennial, they roll past Servite, dominating Servite 41-6. Malachi Davis punches in 2 touchdowns. Dominique Catalano, he adds another one. Jaden Walker, Walker Green seals it with a pick 6. I mean, Huskies just set up this crazy, massive showdown now with Mater Dei. And then just moving on to the rest of the country, man. Grayson dominates Norcross 44-7. They're just playing out of their mind. The Rams look scary heading deeper into the playoff bracket. No one's beating this team, Darren. If they do, I'll be so surprised. Number 9, Buford. That's some Georgia football there. Buford, another Georgia football team here, shuts out Richmond Hill 45-0. Nebraska commit Dayton Raiola throws 4 touchdowns as the Wolves look every bit like title contenders. So this is going to be fun here. Carrollton, another one of these guys, the crazy major Georgia teams here. They cruise 58-17 as freshman CJ Cypher slings touchdowns to Peyton Zachary and Kieras Miller. And senior Cameron Wood, man, scores 4 times. The Trojans collide with number 2 Grayson soon. So Carrollton Grayson's coming. In Texas and Florida, we have here South Lake Carroll. They shut down Crowley, which is pretty crazy, but they've been a pretty strong team. The Dragons now 11-0 on the season. So great stuff for South Lake Carroll. Number 14, St. Thomas Aquinas rolls past Heritage in Florida. They just get a nice victory here. 58 freaking points. The Raiders are rolling. Number 15, DeMatha. Hey, these guys, they blank St. John's, man. They flatten them 42-0. Tristan Sabb doing a great thing here. Elijah Lee, just 2 rushing touchdowns. Stags are headed to the WCAC title game there. So big ups to those guys. And then, of course, we got Grimsley. We know this team, right? They're steamrolling West Cabarrus, I believe, 42-7. The Whirlies, you gotta love the Whirlies. They're moving on to 11-0. Coming back to California, De La Salle, they fall on a shocker. They actually lost 42-0 to San Ramon Valley. That is crazy. One of the most shocking NorCal playoff results ever, I think we've ever seen. Definitely the upset of the week. One of them, a candidate. Then a couple more games here, Teran. Number 20, Chaminade Madonna explodes for 63 points. 63 points over St. John Paul III Academy. Lions gear up for a deep playoff push, postseason push. Cass Tech out of Michigan, Detroit to be exact. They keep rolling. Number 21, they stay perfect at 11-0. Nice 42-28 victory over Saline. Yeah, man. Donald Tabor on the second throws for 3 touchdowns. CJ Sadler Jr. also who nabs 2 picks in this game. The technicians are rolling, man. Get that green and black on. They're doing their thing. A couple more games. We got 3 more. Number 23, Clay Chalkville falls to Gadsden City. They're upset 44-7. Stunning first round exit for this previously unbeaten powerhouse. Number 24, Northwestern stunned here. They lose 70-0 to Somerset Academy, which is insane. Another extremely surprising blowout. And last but never least, number 25, Don Bosco Prep. Teran, we talked about these guys. They're a big East Coast team over there in New Jersey. They are knocked out 42-7 by Seton Hall Prep. Huge New Jersey playoff upset in Ramsey, man. Teran, what is with all these big teams who are falling out early? I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Your thoughts on all this madness in high school?
Yeah. The De La Salle winning was like no doubt about it. I think they're gonna like roll through their playoffs.
No, De La Salle lost.
What? Not according. This isn't what Max Preps told me. I guess Max Preps must have entered it wrong or something.
Nope, they did. Sorry, they got it right. They did. Sorry.
Okay.
Crazy.
But anyway, I want to go back to the Orange Lutheran St. John Bosco game. That game has teaches us many things. Number one, Orange Lutheran. It's a testament to Orange Lutheran season. You know, they start off really good. They beat Northwestern, and then they had to forfeit a few games. They had such an ugly finish to the Trinity League play. They wound up winning just one game, which, I mean, they could have probably beaten Servite had they just managed a whole lot better. But Orange Lutheran, and that's one thing. Orange Lutheran is that win over Bosco is a testament to their season. And I think that one's more surprising than Santa Margarita being Sierra Canyon. I think that one was more of a 50-50 game just because it was really good defense versus really good defense. And Sierra Canyon was going to get tested. And I thought that Santa Margarita, they've really turned the corner. So, but for Orange Lutheran and Bosco, another thing that teaches us is special teams matters. Special teams can either people don't know how good they have special teams until it really winds up biting them in the butt, which, oh man, you got to feel for Bosco in that instance where they miss the kick wide right, and then they can't recover the onside kick, and then they pretty much are out of timeouts and pretty much out of time. So just goes to show you that kickers, that they have some value. So I feel for Bosco, but Orange, it should have never gotten to the point where they needed to bank on the leg of their kicker to try to tie the game. Heck, I'm surprised Bosco didn't want to go for 2. I'm surprised Bosco doesn't go for 2 to try to take the lead, and then they have to pressure Orange Lutheran to try to win the game, and then their defense has to come up big. So it's a younger Bosco team. That's something to also note. I think it's just mainly sophomores and juniors, but still no excuse just because Orange Lutheran came to play, and same with Santa Margarita. And I also want to tell you this very fun fact regarding Mater Dei's win over Mission Viejo. So going into that game, Mission Viejo had scored at least 1 point in 7 of their 372 of their games. That actually came to an end last night as Mater Dei shut them out. And back in 2022, Mater Dei also shut out Los Alamitos' state record of scoring in 444 straight games. So that is quite the fascinating win right there for Mater Dei. Their defense really played disciplined. I thought that might have been actually their most disciplined and complete game they've played. And now Mater Dei plays Corona Centennial, which has a current streak of scoring in at least 366 straight games. So could Mater Dei be coming after that record? We'll have to wait and see. But Mission Viejo, after the game, Chad Johnson said that they're getting the score down when it comes to Bosco and Mater Dei, because he would always remember that when Mission Viejo would play Bosco or Mater Dei, they would get running clocked in the second half. I thought, and you also have to remember that they played in such ugly rainy conditions. So I'm not trying to say that's an excuse for Mission Viejo to play bad. I mean, they couldn't throw the ball by any means, and the snaps were just so wet. But honestly, I think Mission Viejo sadly just ran into that buzzsaw, and I don't want to say that they used up all of their touchdowns when they played Los Alamitos, but I just feel that they ran into a buzzsaw. It was rainy. Mater Dei was way more physical, but Mission Viejo competed, and they didn't get running clocked. They're closing the gap with Mater Dei, so it's a tough time for Mission Viejo because they have to say goodbye to some of their best players, like Luke Fahey, who's off to the Ohio State. But I'm sure Mission Viejo will be back on the big stage sooner rather than later.
No, same here, man. The Diablos had a great season this year. Obviously, the Tennessee loss, Macaulay, that was, I don't know. To me, good game. They're the ones who won it, but that was ridiculous. They had to go out there in the first place anyway. But yeah, man, just rough go, but crazy stuff here, man. In this bracket, so excited for next week, man. Mater Dei and Centennial. This is so cool, man, and it's neat to see these matchups again. But yeah, dude, crazy stuff here. Looking forward to some great playoff football coming up in high school. And my apologies, guys, again. Yeah, Teran corrected me there. Yes, I don't know why I switched it around. My notes, somehow, some way, I had San Ramon Valley defeating De La Salle, and it was completely opposite. So my apologies, De La Salle.
I was going to say, what's going to happen in the Northern California section? Who's going to be representing that if De La Salle loses? Junipero Serra?
Yeah, well, sometimes they are. Junipero Serra is a very good team.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So anyway, crazy stuff there, man. But oh my gosh. So, well, there it is, Teran. That's pretty much high school football, man. So anything to add before we close the door on it for this week?
Orange Lutheran Santa Margarita will be very interesting. It'll be played at Orange Coast College because some teams playing at Orange Coast College have to do good. And then I think it'll be a very interesting game because both teams are coming off of big wins, and I think it'll be defense playing against defense when it comes to that. So expect a barn burner, expect another fun matchup right there, and I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, same here, dude. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Super excited for high school football moving forward. But there you go. I got my rant out for the week. That's the last time you guys will hear about that. I mean, maybe not. I'm gonna still bring up the whole St. Francis Academy nonsense and everything coming up. But moving forward, it's the last time I go on a long rant. I just wanted to. Last week was the whole like, is this actually going to happen? And this week it's like confirmed, no, it's going to happen. But whatever. At least we kind of got that out of the way. And there you go. So all right, Tim. Moving on over to the 3C2A, good sir. Oh, how about this? This is crazy. We are now on over to the basically the playoffs are here. That's it. Season ended last week. And now we are off to a couple bowl games, and the playoffs are all set. So, Teran, let's take a quick look at these, man. So last week ended off. We had some great stuff. We talked about those games, at least the biggest upsets on last Sunday's show. And here we go, man. Moving on to this week. Today we have one game. We have the American Division Championship Bowl game. Santa Monica taking on Victor Valley. Good job, man. Victor Valley, they haven't been a relevant team for a long time. Like I said, back when I played in the 3C2A, they were in the lower division to where you couldn't even be in a bowl game, I think. Or you could make a bowl game, but you couldn't be. I don't even know if they're championship quality or not, if they're up there in that tier, but I do know that, but good job. Santa Monica and Victor Valley should be a really good game here. LA School versus the Inland Empire School. So cool there. We have here on Monday, kind of crazy, the Southern California Bowl, Riverside taking on Fullerton. This is, again, just a crazy game because you'd never think it, these are two powerhouse schools. Wow, when I played 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I mean, these games between these two have been just fun. I was happy to be in some of them, but it's crazy because Fullerton and Riverside have kind of taken a tumble. Really, Riverside more than Fullerton, but they'll be playing. And hey, congrats! At least they made a bowl game. I got to play in a bowl game. I'm happy about that. But they may not. The Riverside may have not made the playoffs or Fullerton, but they're finishing the year. Nice little game there. So watch for the Tigers to make noise again in 2026, and watch for the Hornets too, man. These guys are going to be doing their thing too. I just think these down years happen, but anyway. So there's the bowl game on Monday, and then off to next week. We have Feather River and De Anza, which we'll get more into these next week, obviously. But we do have some games. Feather River, De Anza playing American Division Championship game. We have the Northern California Bowl, San Joaquin Delta and Siskiyous. Foothill and Sequoias in the Pepsi Sequoia Bowl. Fresno City, and we'll get into that one in a few seconds. And then, of course, another bowl. We have Coalinga taking on Los Medanos in the Golden State Bowl. The Beach Bowl, which we played in one back in the day, Grossmont at West LA. Should be a fun one. Another Golden State Bowl. I guess there's two of them. Pasadena taking on Citrus next week. The Patriotic Bowl, Moore Park in Southwestern. American River at Monterey will be the Gridiron Classic Bowl. And then the Western State Bowl. Congratulations, man. I just want to throw this out here, Teran. San Bernardino Valley didn't have a team last year, and they made it to a bowl game this year. That's pretty cool. You know what? Congratulations to these guys. They'll be taking on Antelope Valley. Pretty good game, or should be a pretty good game in that one. But moving forward, Teran, this is it. The playoffs are set. Again, we'll get more into this next week. But Fresno City at San Francisco, Northern California Regional Playoff quarterfinal. And, of course, the other one up north is, if I can find it. Sorry. The other one, of course, is, I don't know where
Diablo
I went.
Valley Butte.
There it is. Sorry, I lost it for a couple seconds. There it is. Diablo Valley and Butte going head-to-head. And that's the quarterfinal. All right. Southern California, a quarterfinal. We have Cerritos at Ventura and El Camino at good old Mount San Antonio. And then they will play the winners on in the next week, which is the winners that are awaiting Golden West and good old Saddleback. We'll be awaiting those two winners from the quarterfinals. I guess they're going to seed from highest to lowest or whatever, whoever plays who. And San Mateo Modesto will be awaiting at the top of the North. So, Teran, crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's only one undefeated team throughout the entire postseason. That's Golden West. So 11 teams have proven they could be beaten at least once. One team hasn't. So I think this is going to be a very interesting playoffs. I mean, Ventura obviously made the postseason as an at-large. Cerritos did as well. El Camino also made the El Camino made the postseason as an at-large as well. Mount Sac won their conference. And Golden West obviously wound up winning their conference. So I think this is going to be a very interesting path to the championship, because something to note is that this year it's going to be the Southern California's turn to host the state championship. So no matter who comes out of the Northern California section and no matter who comes out of the Southern California regional, it's going to be Southern California hosting. So if you're a SoCal team, you got to be pretty excited on making it to the state championship game. So if I'm a NorCal team and I'm looking good, I'd make travel arrangements to head down to SoCal. But I'm really interested to see what Mount Sac can do following their win over Ventura. Will El Camino come out with a lot more fire because they had such a clunker game against Saddleback? Will Mount Sac have a letdown? Will this be a letdown spot for Mount Sac? Will Cerritos have themselves? Will the Cerritos that beat Fullerton show up against a very good Ventura team, even though that's a very long trip for Cerritos? Will Golden West be able to continue their perfect season? Will they be? Because many thought, you and I thought, it was going to be between Ventura and Golden West as the number one seed.
Yeah.
But until Ventura kind of fell at the altar to Mount Sac. And what if Saddleback? Can Saddleback put it all together under Kerry Craft? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, or Kerry Crab.
Yeah, this is exciting, Teran. I'm happy that we have some parity here And it's awesome. Again, just bummed out Riverside's not there this year, but I'll tell you right now, man, this is going to be.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. And the reason why I bring up Riverside is because the last time, 2 years ago, that SoCal hosted, it was right there in Riverside on the field I used to play on. They defeated San Mateo, national championship game. It was awesome. Last year, Riverside made an early exit to Mount Sac, and while this year they're not even there. But that was Coach Kraft's send off right there. What was that?
A new regime.
A new regime, yes. And yeah, Teran, I mean, now it's, it's all right. It's all right, new regime in place. But just crazy, man. Crazy to see, the turnarounds and mix-ups and everything. But there we go, Teran. Well, a little bit more. We'll get into more of that next week for the 3C2A. And moving on now into the NJCAA. All right, Teran. Well, this is where things get a little crazier. Snow, by the way, blanked Lackawanna and sophomore night on Thursday, 41-0. So Lackawanna just came out from a crazy game versus Georgia Military, and now they just completely fell off. So poor guys. But moving forward, this is really it. This is like that last, we're having some semifinals now. We have, conference championships being played. Playoffs getting set. So that's what this week really is in the NJCAA. Next week, we're going to have, obviously full-on playoffs and everything. But as of right now, in the NJCAA, we do have the MA 3C championship here. Number 5, Mississippi Gulf Coast, 9-1. They head to Senatobia to play number 4, Northwest Mississippi, at 9-1 for the crown. So 2 elite defenses, 2 explosive offenses, 1 Mississippi champion. Let's find out. Then, of course, we have the SWJCFC semifinal playoff here in Texas. We have number 3, Tyler, 9-0, taking on Cisco at 6-3. This is pretty cool. This is at Rose Stadium. Then we have Iowa Western at 8-1. They return home to take on Ellsworth, so that's probably just going to be a throwaway game, But overall, number 1 Hutchinson will travel to Highland. This is kind of a rivalry, but right now it's a little lopsided. Highland, Kansas, looking to stay perfect. The Blue Dragons, obviously 11-1. They're unstoppable right now. They look like it, so we'll see. But good game there. Next up, we do have, again, some throwaway games. Coffeyville at Independence, not a game we're talking about. Trinity Valley going to Northern Oklahoma or Northeastern Oklahoma A&M, not worth talking about. But a big game that is worth talking about. Bronco Busters host a big one, man. Number 11, Garden City at 6-3 hosts number 12, Iowa Central at 6-3 in a huge postseason positioning matchup. Both teams fighting to stay in the top 15 and possibly climb. So we'll see there. Another game, Butler taking on Dog City, not even. And then obviously we have a non-conference battle, Nassau and Monroe. But really that's it, Teran. So, I mean, other than that, we got a couple big ones here. Which games do you like for this week?
The MACCC championship game is a really good one. The Mississippi Gulf Coast and Northwest Mississippi. That basically is a spot for the playoffs because that is basically an elimination game because I imagine that conference is only going to get one team, and that's the automatic qualifier, unless both these teams have been really good all season. But let's be honest, there's only one good team. Well, 2 good teams being Hutchinson as well as Iowa Western. So I think for one of these teams, their playoff hopes are going to come to an end unless the committee is going to be very lenient and they throw them a bone and get both into the playoffs. But I think that's basically a win or go home game for both of those teams, and I can't wait to see it. And that's kind of the nature of the week that we're in right now. Like, this is basically the week of win or go home. This is basically the real season that some of these teams are playing in. And same can be said for Cisco and Tyler being in the SWJC FC semifinals.
I know. Craziest acronym.
I think it's basically an elimination game, and this is where the playoffs truly begin. This is where the postseason has officially started.
Oh, that's for sure, man. We got some Good games there. So looking forward to some NJCAA action, man. And again, Teran, you and I will pick up on this next week and see who went where, who's going where, get some playoff previews and everything here. So let's move on into the Division 3, shall we? Good old D3 football. And Teran, this one is very self-explanatory. This is it. Week number 10 is here. It's been a long season. And, well, let's talk about who's playing whom and what certain teams are fighting for, and really just some are just playing to end it off. That's pretty much it. So we have here some ranked unranked, man. Obviously, North Central, Illinois Westland. I mean, the Cardinals have won 30 straight CCIW games. Can the Titans disrupt perfection? Probably not. Mount Union taking on Muskingum. Purple Raiders are probably going to win this one huge because I don't know if the Muskies can slow down this powerhouse, this purple powerhouse. Okay, but there is one game that's kind of fun up in this top 3. I guess number 3, Johns Hopkins taking on number 25, Franklin and Marshall. Kind of cool. Franklin and Marshall are number 25, but let's just be real. I think the Blue Jays are going to send them out of the top 25 pretty quickly. But another one here, Wisconsin battle. It's a ranked versus an unranked, but I don't care. That's how awesome Wisconsin battles are. It doesn't matter if they're ranked. they're going to play. They're going to play their hearts out. So red hot number 4, Wisconsin River Falls rolls in to Menominee to face off against, of course, well, after they're fresh off of their WEAC win, taking on Wisconsin Stout. They pulled off a November surprise before. Can Stout stun a top 5 team? And Teran, if there's any team that's going to upset anybody when they're unranked in Division 3, it's one of these Wisconsin schools. They're crazy. So, so we got that. And then really this week, nothing crazy. I mean, again, just a bunch of games who we think for sure we know they're going to win. But let's see here. There is another Wisconsin battle, Whitewater versus Oshkosh. Number 12, Whitewater. They travel to Oshkosh as both teams fight for life, basically for playoff life. So expect a very physical football game in this one. Hardin Simmons looks to rebound versus East Texas Baptist, which I'm sure they will. Another Wisconsin battle, Lacrosse taking on Stevens Point. They're facing a hungry Stevens Point squad, and the Eagles can't afford to have another tumble. So we'll see how that goes for playoffs. And that's really that, Teran. So, I mean, we have all of that, and I don't know if we have any more. Nope. So, to me, those are the big D3 games. And again, Teran, right now, what we're doing is we're fighting for playoffs. You know, we're fighting, as you said before, we're fighting for them playoffs to see where they can go, see where they're seated. Because really, Teran, you know as well as I do, man, we've been doing this for a decade again, and we've been watching football even longer, and it's all about where you're seated. Because sometimes if you're seated just perfectly, you can have a pretty nice little, I won't call it easy, but a more simpler than not road to the semis or maybe even the championship versus being seated just one bracket or one spot down. And guess what? You're making an early exit. So what do you think, Teran?
Yeah, there is another ranked unranked matchup, DePauw versus Wabash, which I think is pretty cool if you ask me. But this is basically the land of no return. This is basically vying for spots in the playoffs, vying for whoever wins the conference to improve the seeding and whatnot. And I totally agree with you. I think if there's ever a chance for River Falls to get upset, it would have to be today because Stout is playing with house money. They're not ranked. I mean, it's an in-state rivalry. I can't imagine Stout wouldn't be playing their hearts out. And I can't imagine Stout not playing up to their potential just because I think Stout's going to have fun and let it rip and play like they have nothing left to lose. And the pressure falls all on River Falls because if they lose, then their seeding takes a hit. Their playoff hopes probably take a little bit of a hit and whatnot. So I think for Stout, I think they could just have their fun and just let it rip and just play their game and their brand of football against an in-state rivalry / conference foe. So Can't wait to see it. And also, Christopher Newport did really well. They wound up winning.
Mm.
They actually, I was fearing they'd have a little bit of a letdown spot, but they didn't, because they had themselves a big win over Salisbury last week, who also won.
Yeah.
But Christopher Newport just kept it going on the road, so they're looking pretty darn good, especially after that big win over Salisbury last week.
And that to me is awesome because, man, good old Christopher Newport. Teran, could we be talking about Christopher Newport making a deep run? Do you believe that this team actually has a real chance this year to compete with some of the giants in D3?
I'd give them a solid chance, but I think they're at best a dark horse team, especially compared to the likes of Mount Union, North Central, Johns Hopkins, and whoever comes out of the Wisconsin conference.
Yeah, no, totally agree, man. And it's pretty crazy because, I mean, again, I guess, again, it's crazy when you look at some of these top power teams. I mean, obviously, North Central, Mount Union's up there. St. John's, man, we got to get these guys in the conversation a little more because they're a major team at the top up there who's going to be very, very, very highly ranked. I mean, if you look at this too, which is crazy, man, go to the website real fast. They actually have we talked about this before in the past, well, last week, right? We talked about how impressive this top 25 is right now. I mean, again, River Falls took a bump, but I mean, basically the entire top 7, man. I mean, they're all undefeated. North Central, Mount Union, Johns Hopkins, Bethel, Wartburg, and Christopher Newport. And Wartburg's another team, dude, who's like kind of scary. This team is they're there. They've been a team to make it decently far in the playoff every year. I don't know, this is kind of one of those years where we can well, I guess every year is one of those years, but ask the question of will we see this new like upset champion? I mean, Teran, SUNY Cortland. I mean, my gosh, what, 2 years ago they were the champs out of upstate New York. Now they're nowhere to be found. Crazy, right? I mean,
yeah.
But look at the teams who remain, though. North Central, they're still up there. Mount Union, obviously, they're still up there. Mary Hardin Baylor took a tumble. This year, I think that was my biggest surprise team of the year, because they still have a really good team, and they have a solid program there. They look really good, but the problem is that they're, this year they were just inconsistent. And that's what played a factor. So kind of crazy to not see Mary Hardin Baylor up there. But yeah, man. So Division 3, craziness, all but done here, all but wrapped up. And yeah. So anything else to add for D3?
I think we've pretty much covered most of it. I mean, you mentioned Mary Hardin Baylor. They had that big win last week over Hardin Simmons, which I think that could possibly get them on the map in the near future. I think that's an encouraging sign for them. But yeah, I think them taking a tumble kind of goes to show that a lot of these good teams can and sometimes have their down years.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean, it's nuts to think about it, man. But all right, so we'll see where we are next week when we talk about the playoffs. Division 2, well, we're right in the same place, man. Final week here. We're just getting on in. This is the final week, right, Teran? I think it's the final week.
Yep.
That's what I thought it was. But yeah,
we're in that stage of the season where it's win or go home.
And here we go, man. The first one I want to talk about is number 5 Pittsburgh State versus number 9 Northwest Missouri, man. Pittsburgh State, this is a top MIAA war right here, top 10 battle. Pittsburgh State 8-2. They head into Maryville to face off against Northwest Missouri, man. The Bearcats with a major playoff implications on the line. The Gorillas ground game versus the Bearcats elite front. This is a must watch. Teran, who are you taking?
I'm sorry. Sorry. What happened? Sorry, I got no.
You all right there?
Yeah, I saw a notification.
Okay,
I just got
sorry.
a notification. Sorry, go ahead.
Pittsburgh State, Northwest Missouri. Who you got?
Pittsburgh State.
It's a good game. Again, major playoff implications on the line, man. This is going to be number 5 versus number 9. Do you think Pittsburgh State can make a run for a title this year?
I think so, but they're gonna have to play some darn good football.
Yeah, this is a team where, I mean, this is huge. This is a huge game. Really excited. I like this one a lot, man. This is definitely going to be the game of the week for sure. Again, this is a major playoff application game, and the winner will have a very nice seed. I don't know about the loser. I don't even know if they'll. I mean, they should get in. There's no way they shouldn't get in. All right. So next up, number 19, Shadron State taking on number 7, CSU Pueblo. This is a RMAC monster matchup. Shadron State 8-2 just shocked the nation last week as they took out undefeated. They took a major victory there, but now they get to go against undefeated. Undefeated at home, CSU Pueblo. Eagles soaring high or Thunderwolves pounding? Who are you taking?
Give me the Thunderwolves. CSU Pueblo will win.
I could see that. This is a fun one. To me, this is a fun one. I like this Colorado little RMAC battle here. Definitely a fun one. Next up, man, this is another one. Number 21, Wingate. At number 17, Newberry. This is a SAC showdown. Wingate 8-2 has surged back in the top 25. But Newberry 9-1 is rolling behind a balanced offense and big defense. Winner grabs conference control and playoff strength. Who you like?
I'll take Newberry in this one.
Newberry is a good school. Yeah, that to me, that's a good pick. I like Wingate too, but I don't know if I got to pick one. Okay. Number 23, Ashley. At number 10, Finley. They're spoiling us, obviously, but this is the very end. And I love how we're having a lot of ender games, right? That are ranked on ranked. But next up, number 23, Ashland. At number 10, Finley. This is a Giliac heavy hitter game. Ashland at 8-2. They look for revenge after last week's loss. But Finley, 10-0, hasn't blinked all season. Can the Eagles hand the Oilers their first loss?
So let me get this straight. Finley is 10-0, but they're ranked behind Ashland, or is it vice versa?
Nope. No, Finley is number 10. Ashland is 23.
Well, you already know I got Finland easy money.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see I don't know. I don't see Finley losing this game. So should be fun. But all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's see. Is this a ranked? Nope. Okay, last one. That's ranked on ranked. Number 6, Central Washington at number 20, Western Oregon. This is the GNAC title fight. Central Washington at 9-1 and Western Oregon at 8-2. They meet in a late season classic. The Wildcat defense versus Western Oregon's power run. Beautiful fall football right here, man. Who are you taking?
I'll take Central Oregon in a close one.
Yeah, there's a lot there, man. Central Oregon has a lot of strengths there. Interestingly enough, I mean, we actually have some games that are low-key upset alerts, and sometimes, man, I don't know. Sometimes you look at these games here, and you're like, holy crap! Because I don't know. To me, this is one game that kind of stood out just a little bit. And Ferris State taking on Davenport. Now, some of you are probably asking, like, you've got to be kidding me. How is this game even considered like an upset watch? Well, it's a trap game. I mean, I don't know if you call it a trap game, but Ferris State, they're perfect. They're 10-0. Davenport pushed them to the brink last year, nearly upsetting Saginaw Valley last week. Is this Bulldogs beware? Or do you think Ferris State will handle these guys easy? Remember, Teran, they took them all the way. This game was like a single-point game last year. And then, like I said, Saginaw Valley, man, no one to sneeze at, right? Big-time school here in Michigan. I don't know. Do you think we'll see some late-season fireworks here and down goes number 1? Or do you think Ferris State's going to roll into the playoffs number 1?
I'll take Ferris State, but you mentioned it perfectly. Ferris State needed double overtime to take down Saginaw Valley. I think Fair State has got to be really careful. I think they're starting to play with fire, but I think for Fair State they'll get the job done. I think this is where their defense has their get right game.
Yeah, Teran. I mean, this is and I hope so for them, for their sake. 'Cause that looks like a fun game to me. I really like that a lot. That looks like one of those games where you can. I don't know. Yeah, I'm telling you, Teran, I wish we could watch some. I know they have the live link, the live feed up there sometimes, but
They have
have you
some
ever had
sort
it?
of like live stream or some sort of like lit radio or whatnot.
Yeah, man. Like it sucks that I'm telling you. Sometimes, guys, we just rather watch these versus some of these dang Division One games that are like terrible. But yeah, man. So anyway, so good stuff there. Looking forward to all that good stuff. But anyway, Darren, any other games here you see in Division Two? For me, I think that's that. Those are some fun ones that we're going to see today in Division Two.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much that in terms of all the notable D2 games. I think I agree with you. Those are kind of the notable D2 games that are the de facto games, which could make or break playoff chances.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for us with those. So we will now move on over to the NAIA. Let's do that on over here. NAIA time. Let's do it. All right, man. So NAIA football, always a fun one, right? Always, always, always fun. Got to enjoy it while it's here. But yeah, Taryn, I mean, this is it. We've reached. This is the final week. And well, I think the big ones are obviously coming on up because this is all about playoff seeding. Number 6, Dort, this week 9-0, taking on Morningside. Dort rolls into Sioux City for a GPAC title fight versus 8-2 Morningside. Dana Dickerson looks to stay red hot after 4 touchdowns last week, but Zach Chevalier and Chevier, I believe, and the Mustangs are peaking at the perfect time. What do you think?
First, is this really the last week of the regular season? Well, for starters, is this really the last week of the regular season?
I think it is. If not, we might have one more next week.
Yeah, I'm seeing this on the scoreboard on the official website. This is really the last week. So,
I think is it the last week? I thought this was the last week, but it might not be.
Yeah, there's like no other weeks after that. So, I just gotta say, where's the time flown when it comes to this season?
Right, Aaron, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
So, I mean, we got that one coming on up today. Who are you taking?
Between who again? I'm sorry.
Taryn's off today, everybody. Taryn's off.
So I'm sorry. It's just college football game days on and whatnot. Sorry.
So we got number 6 Dort taking on number 9 Morningside. What do you think?
I'm going to take Morningside in a close one, and here's why. I think Morningside has the home field advantage, and I think with that, Dort, I think this is a letdown spot for Dort. I think them thinking that they're ranked higher, they're going to think, oh, this is going to be this one shouldn't be too difficult. But with Morningside, I think Morningside is going to be more motivated. I think they're going to come in hungrier. And I think they have that championship pedigree about them that will give them the slight edge.
I agree. That sounds like a fun one there, man. Good game there. We have here, let's see. I'm going to go Morningside too. I don't know why, but Dort's 9-0. We'll see. It'll be a fun game. Number 10, Campbellsville versus number 20, Georgetown. Tiger versus Tiger. The Tiger Bowl, if you will. Massive Mid-South showdown. Jet Engel and Trey Bass look to explode versus Kentucky. Georgetown, Kentucky. They're 4-0 this year at home. Is this an upset? What do you think, Taryn? Number 10, Campbellsville. Number 20, Georgetown.
I got the Tigers winning.
I'm going to say, I'm with you, Taryn.
I got Campbellsville winning.
I think so. I think those Tigers will be mightier today. Number 13, College of Idaho at number 14, Carroll. This one's a fun one, right? The frontier matchup of the year right here, man. Number 13, College of Idaho, 8-1. They visit Carroll, who's 7-2 after shocking them 36-13 last week. I don't know, man. This is crazy. We're going to see what happens here. But what do you think? Yotes or Saints? Who do you got? College of Idaho, Carroll.
Oh, man. This one I think is a close one. I'm going to take Carroll in a very tight one.
Me too. I think it's going to be a field goal game, if that, man. And a couple of upsets. I mean, are they really upsets, Teran? Number one, Grandview versus Clark. Grandview's 9-0, but Clark is 4-1 at home this year. That should be fun.
Oh.
Kaiser and Warner, 9-0. Warner, they're unranked, but they just scored 35 points last week. But will it be the same thing on Kaiser? Fun, two fun games there, right? In their top two.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Like, you think that those top two teams are going to have an easy game, but when you factor in those little nuggets right there, it's not going to be as easy as most people think it would be. So I still think Grandview wins, but I think it'll be a high scoring game, and I think they're going to have to control the clock. And then same can be said for Kaiser. Kaiser is, if it's a high scoring game, then their offense really has to show. If their offense can control the clock and because the best way to keep a good offense off the field is to make sure they're off the field. Or the best way to stop a good offense is to keep them off the field. That's what I meant to say. But that being said, Kaiser is going to pull off the win, and I think it's going to be based on clock control and defense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There we go.
So I'm gonna go with the top two as well, but let's see what happens, man. So all right, let's push on over now to the FCS. We're getting shorter on time, man. So let's do it. We have here South Carolina State. They actually stunned North Carolina Central in the MEAC Thriller last night. Crazy. SC State Bulldogs ride a late Josh Shaw touchdown run. 34-27 victory over the NCCU Eagles. Crazy game there for those guys, man. How you feeling about that, man? What do you think? South Carolina State getting it done.
That's a huge win for them, and I think that win definitely puts them a part of the whole I would say championship conversation, but I think that win puts them a part of the playoff conversation, and I think that definitely spices things up a bit.
Oh, that's for sure, man. So, all right. So, come on to this week, man. We have number 22, South Dakota, at number 23, Southern Illinois. Top 25 showdown in Carbondale. Number 22, South Dakota hits the road to face number 23, Southern Illinois, in a massive MVFC clash. LJ Phillips and the Coyotes ground game versus Dante Williams and the Salicus air attack. What do you think, man?
I'm taking South Dakota. I think these Dakota schools are built differently, and that's no disrespect to the other team. I think that based on South Dakota and obviously the South Dakota State matchup, and then the North Dakota and the North Dakota State matchup, I think South Dakota is going to come in hungrier and more battle ready.
No, I'm totally with you, man. And we're just kind of running through the ranked games this week because this is really the end of the year, So it's like the polls are in, but we're going to focus on these bigger games that are just the ones that really matter a lot. So number 13, Illinois State at number 15, South Dakota State. Teran, the Jacks haven't been this low in a long time. Old powers collide in Brookings, and this is going to be a fun one. Number 13, Illinois State heads to number 15, South Dakota State in the classic MVFC fist fight, man. Tommy Rittenhouse and the Redbirds offense versus that Jackrabbits physical front. Teran, will the Jacks make it happen, or do you think these Redbirds are on one?
Oh, man. Feels weird to see South Dakota State this low. I'll take South Dakota State. They need a bounce back spot. This is a big bounce back spot for them. If they don't, man, I can't imagine what the committee is going to think when it comes to them possibly making or missing the postseason. But I think South Dakota State gets it done. It won't be easy by any means. I think South Dakota State, in my opinion, is going to have to grind this one out, especially since I think it was last week they got exposed where they lost. But I just think I think this has a bounce back written all over it for South Dakota State.
It does. And as much as I would like to see Illinois State win, that'd be crazy. But yeah, I got Jackson this one too. Number 14, Lamar taking on number 17, Stephen F. Austin down in Texas, a Southland showdown, man. Number 14, Lamar marches up to Nacogdoches. I hope I said that right. To face number 14, Stephen F. Austin, Kendall Harris, and the SFA Lumberjacks offense trying to outgun a tough Lamar Cardinal squad. Who you taking?
Man, this one's going to be
Yeah, this
tough.
is the harder one.
I mean, they're both 8-2. Shoot. I mean, I'd say Lamar in the upset, but Stephen F. Austin is undefeated in Southland Conference play. So I'm going to take Stephen F. Austin in a close one.
Yeah, me too. I think it's gonna be a good game. I don't know why. I guess I'm going towards the Jacks, man. That they're good. They're home. Lamar's a great team, but I just got to go with the home team today. And then, of course, the big one, Taryn. To me, this is the biggest game of the day. Number 10, UC Davis. Number 3, Montana State. Huge nightcap in Bozeman. Number 10, UC Davis heads to Bobcat Stadium to battle number 13. Oh, sorry, number 3, Montana State in a heavyweight Big Sky showdown. Miles Hastings and Jalen Fisher versus Tommy Lamson in that punishing Bobcats run game. This is a great game, Darren.
Oh, yeah, indeed it is. Man,
I
mean,
know. Aggies or Bobcats, and gosh, I want to pick the Aggies so bad, but I just, especially if it's in Bozeman, this one's hard for me to not pick the Bobcats.
Yeah, you stole my thunder right there, Larry. My biggest problem with Davis playing Montana State is that it's going to be in Montana State, and that's trouble in paradise for UC Davis. If this were in Davis, maybe I'd lean toward Davis. I was going to pick Davis, but then I realized Montana State has been battle tested. They played Oregon early on when they were top 10. They played South Dakota State, which they played them really close. And ever since that, those two losses, Montana State has not lost since. So, look, I love Davis. I'm rooting for them. The only thing I will say about Montana State is this could be a letdown spot if they look ahead to their matchup against Montana next week. But and especially since this is going to be on national TV, this is going to be on ESPN too. So, look, I love UC Davis. I love what they do, but I think Montana State is going to prove to everyone that they are the top dog in the Big Sky Conference. And I just think that they're just going to be, I think they're just going to be ready for Montana or for UC Davis. And having the home crowd just really helps them out because no travel and whatnot.
I love it because you sold your thunder back right there at the end, dude. That home crowd is going to be huge. I love it. Exchanging thunder stealing there, Darren. Yes, because Bozeman shows out, dude. This is a great football town. It's just a great community overall. Darren, I just don't see this game going. I want, and if the Aggies win, oh, good for them. But yeah, I gotta go with the Bobcats this one. So, Darren, we got some fun stuff in the FCS, but that's got to be the game of the day for the FCS.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's being put on ESPN too, because Davis is because that could basically be for the Big Sky Conference right there, and that basically is for a spot in the postseason right there. So. And both these teams have faced FCS opponents, or not FCS opponents, FBS opponents, with Montana State having played Oregon and then Davis having played Washington. The only difference is that the Aggies sadly saw their game canceled against Mercer at the beginning of the season because of inclement weather. So it is what it is, but that's life in the big city when it comes to college football. So hopefully for Davis's sake, they could play to the best of their ability. It'll be tough because they're on the road, but I can see them coming out hungry. But Montana State should pull this one off. But ESPN2 is where it's at.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Big
so there
Sky
we go.
After dark.
I like
even
that.
though it's going to be a 7:30 start time, which isn't too dark.
I mean, well, now daylight saving time's here. It's pretty dark. So, well. Here we go, dude. Off to the FBS. If you got nothing else for the FCS, there it is, Taryn. We have 4 games today that I'm just going to single in on in the FBS. And one of them has to do with the team you're wearing and the team I represent, the USC Trojans. Let's start with these guys. Number 21, Iowa at number 17, USC. Big Ten showdown at the Coliseum. Number 21, Iowa heads to LA to battle number 17, USC. I seen them play years ago, Taryn. If you remember, I was at that bowl game, the Holiday Bowl, where USC lost, and I was madder than crap years ago. when it was still in San Diego, when good old Qualcomm still existed. But man, massive Big Ten clash at the Coliseum. Can the Hawkeyes defense slow down Jaden Mayava and Micaiah Lemon, or will the Trojans keep, will the Trojans keep climbing in the will they even continue to climb? Obviously, can they do it? I mean, I don't know. Can they climb in this thing? This is a sneaky elimination game, in my opinion. It's a crazy one. Teran, what do you think?
Oh man, this is going to be a tough one. And here's a big reason why it's going to be tough, because it's going to be raining. I imagine it's going to be slippery and whatnot. It's going to be tough to get snaps off. It's going to be tough to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a 12:30 start time. Wow, they moved it up. I thought this was going to be prime time, but I guess they moved it up due to the time and whatnot, due to the rain and whatnot. But I mean, Iowa played Oregon close, and Iowa does have familiarity of playing in the rain, but USC, they always have the edge over Iowa in the Coliseum. But I'm going to pick USC, but I'm basing this off of USC has to come really prepared when it comes to this. If they think they're going to walk in to the Coliseum and they're going to get a free win, they have another thing coming. They have to really play disciplined football. No cute stuff, no fancy stuff, especially since it's raining. They learned their lesson from when they played Notre Dame in the rain a few weeks ago. Now they can't afford to play cute football. They got to play disciplined, sound, solid football. And my big fear for USC is that they look ahead to next week when they play Oregon, because you said it best. This is an elimination game for USC if they lose. And even if they run the table, it's not guaranteed that they'll make the Big Ten championship. But what could be guaranteed is they could, hence the word could, make the college football playoff. But it all starts with winning out, and USC has to win out against Iowa. So I think for USC, they get the job done. It's going to be ugly, especially if it's raining, but I expect USC to really get the run game going. They really got to get the run game going, and they have to stop the opponent's run, because Iowa plays smash mouth football.
No, they do. This is why we can't. Oh my gosh, I believe in SC, but this is a huge game, man. Iowa's coming. Iowa's here. This team is going to play, and they're going to play freaking lights out. So this team needs to be on their freaking P's and Q's, man. So, all right,
we need the USC from Michigan that played Michigan really well, and not the USC that played down their competition against the likes of Notre Dame and Illinois.
That's the one we need, because they're frustrating. So I hope, but we'll find out, brother. We'll find out, man. But let's go fight on SC all the way, man. Let's see what happens. All right, there. Moving forward, taking a look at the rest of these ones here. Number 9, speaking of Notre Dame, number 9 Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. Number 22 Pittsburgh. Classic blue blood battle here today, man. Top 25 in the Steel City. Number 9 Notre Dame travels to number 22 Pittsburgh in a huge test. This is crazy, man. CJ Carr and the Irish offense versus that tough Panther defense, man. This is a huge game. This is almost a must-win for Pittsburgh if they want anything of relevance. This is actually a must-win for both games, because if Pittsburgh even wants to be somewhat relevant, they got to win this thing. But if Notre Dame wants a playoff bid, they need to win this thing too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for Notre Dame, if they lose, that could pretty much be the nail in their coffin of their college football playoff hopes. I mean, this is no consequence of Pitt. I mean, even if they win, it's no guarantee they'll make the college football playoff, because they still got to win their way through their conference, and that conference has been rather confusing, if you ask me. So, I think Notre Dame will win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame pooped the bed and Pitt wound up screwing around and winning this one. So, I'll take Notre Dame in a close one, but Pitt is going to scratch and claw their way to a good game. No pun intended.
I like that one. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. That would be, I'll go with that. Wait. So did I hear you correctly? You're taking Pittsburgh?
Oh, no. I'm taking Notre Dame. Did I say I was taking Pitt?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. No, Notre Dame. I'm going Notre Dame.
The rain is really screwing up everything. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But Pittsburgh, I'm going with Notre Dame too. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. So number 11, Oklahoma, number 4, Alabama. Tuscaloosa, blockbuster here, monster matchup in Tuscaloosa. Number 11, Oklahoma rolls into to face number 4, Alabama in a game with huge college football playoff stakes. Ty Simpson and the Tide look to shut down LSU. Man, this is going to be a crazy game. Will the Sooners stand tall? What do you think?
I mean, there's no better team. There's no team that's playing better football than Alabama, because ever since they lost to Florida State, Alabama has just been on a heater. I don't trust Oklahoma by any means. I think Alabama is just playing really good football, especially defensively. I just can't pick against Alabama. I think the evil empire is back, and I think Alabama is here. So give me the Crimson Tide. Roll Tide, unfortunately.
Roll Tide. I'm going Roll Tide too. I do not see the Sooners winning this game. And then, of course, the big game of the day, man, Saturday night football, if you will. Number 10, Texas, and number 5, Georgia. SEC heavyweight war on ABC. Top 10 SEC war in Athens. Number 10, Texas heads between the hedges to face number 5, Georgia, in a massive playoff statement game. Arch Manning in that versus that Dogs defense, man. Nate Frazier on the ground. Yes, please. This is going to be a battle. Darren, who are you taking?
I'm going to take Georgia for this one, and here's why. I think Georgia having the home crowd gives them an edge. I think Georgia having an elite defense gives them the edge. And I think Arch Manning, even though he's playing better, I think Arch Manning is not going to – I think it's going to be too much for him, because you saw what happened when he played in a full crowd against Ohio State. He wound up turning into a pumpkin. I feel that that's going to happen tonight against Georgia. I think Georgia's defense should be enough, especially since Georgia can ill afford a loss in the SEC play. Because if they lose, then I don't know if they'll get, first and foremost, I don't know if they'll get to the SEC championship, but I don't know if this will get them into the college football playoff. So I think for Georgia, this is a big must-win for them. I mean, it's also a must-win for Texas, but for Georgia, they really have to prove themselves.
Yeah, that's without saying, man. Georgia needs this bad. And I mean, they both do. But what's crazy is Texas, man. Like, I don't know. I think they kind of fell off a cliff. As crazy as good as they are, I don't know, dude. To me, I think Texas is the worst best team right now. This is crazy to say it.
Amen. Thank you.
Right? Like, I don't know what it is, man. And I want them to be good. I want to cheer for Arch Manning. And this is totally me ignoring my hatred for them and Vince Young almost 20 years ago. Okay.
His knee was down.
I don't care. Right, horns down. But yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. When it comes down to it, I just feel that I don't know. Georgia's better. Georgia's just a better football team. There's a lot there. This team is going to be they're going to be hell-bent on winning this game, Teran. You're going to see Georgia play their best football of the year tonight. I just don't see it, dude. I don't see it. I do not see the Bulldogs losing this game. And if they do, cool. But I just don't see it, Teran. If the Horns win it, cool. They earned it. But I just don't see it, Teran. I don't. Yeah. So we're both going Bulldogs, huh?
The dogs got to eat.
The dogs got to eat, man. So, well, there you have it, Teran. Any other top 25 ratings? Any other games you want to throw out there before we move on to some NFL picks for tomorrow?
Can I just say I'm sick to my stomach seeing UCLA, Ohio State on prime time. It's like,
no.
What does NBC see in the fact that UCLA and Ohio State is a good ranked-on-ranked matchup, or a good matchup to put on prime time? Like, UCLA basically is pretty much dead in the water in terms of making a bowl game, and you're gonna put them on prime time. Like, you couldn't just put Notre Dame Pitt on prime time, like in terms of like NBC.
Why?
I get it. There's like no other. The entire Big Ten is like a clown car for the Saturday slate, except for like SC, Iowa. But still, it's like you could have found like other games to put on. Like you definitely could have had other big games to put on and whatnot. So I just wonder why UCLA and why Ohio State, because UCLA fans have been through enough torture as it is.
I know. No, well, and Teran, this is why you and I prefer to watch some of these streams of the lower divisions because, well, those games are much better than this crap.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So there you go, Teran. Well, if there's nothing else, man, let's go and get on to our NFL picks to end off our show here today, man. Because, well, here we go, full swing back to the NFL, man. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Starting off with, let's see, where do we start? Our Madrid game. Yay, that's a fun game to start with, right? Tomorrow morning, bright and early. Dolphins at Commanders. Teran, all I got to ask is, what do those poor people of Spain ever do to deserve this horrible football game? What did they didn't do anything wrong. Poor Spain. I am so sorry. I want to apologize on behalf of America and but on behalf of the USA and the NFL for sending you such a horrible football game, because I don't know why anybody would even go to this. If the NFL is trying to market in Spain, they're going to lose out tomorrow when they go to this game and they're like, wow, this sucks. We're going to stick with La Liga. I'm just saying. So, but anyway, Teran, Commanders, NFL football in Spain, fins up, look to keep the offense humming while Ray's Hale tries to shake off a tough stretch. 2-0 versus Jaden Daniels. Well, no, Jaden Daniels is out. Mariota overseas, must watch. Is it? What do you think?
And I mean, on paper, it would look like the Dolphins would win, but something is giving me weird vibes of the Commanders pulling off the win. And you know what? I'm going to take Washington to win this one. I think it's going to be one of those weird games, and I think the Dolphins are going to have a letdown spot after they wound up having the game of their lives last week. I think they're going to have a Bills hangover, and I think the Commanders eke out an ugly but close win.
I will take that. Wholeheartedly. That's solid. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Dolphins. Screw it. Let's see what happens. All right. Next up, man. Playoff window. Early window for us. So Panthers, Falcons. The NFC South gets a little spicy. So Panthers head to ATL to see if they can get a bounce back behind Bryce Young, while good old Atlanta, the Dirty Birds, look to get Michael Penix rolling again at home. Big quarterback energy in this one. Huge playoff implications, personally, in my opinion. What do you think?
Since the Panthers are not favored to win this game, they will win this game. So give me the Panthers. It seems like whenever the Panthers are favored, I think they've lost 14 straight games when they've been favored. Now that the Panthers aren't favored to win, I think the Panthers should pull out the win. But Bryce Young has really got to start playing better, in my opinion. I think Bryce Young is a good quarterback. It's just that he needs to start putting it together, because he has the expectations of number one overall pick, and the Panthers definitely have a shot at the playoffs. It's going to be tough and it gets tougher if the NFC just keeps on winning and whatnot. So I think for the Panthers, this is definitely must win. As you said, this does have playoff implications, because the schedule only gets tougher. They've got the Niners the following week. They've got the Rams, Saints. They still have yet to beat. They've got the Bucks, Seahawks, and the Bucks. So I think their playoffs start this week, and their gauntlet officially starts next week. So if Carolina wants to win the NFC South, they could ill afford any more losses going forward.
Agreed. Okay, so we got about 8 minutes left, so let's get some rapid fire going here, man, with these picks.
Sorry.
It's all good. No. So we got the Buccaneers taking on the Bills, a showdown in the cold. Obviously, Buccaneers traveling north to take on to see if they can steal a statement win here. The Bills, though, fired up to defend their home turf after a tough loss. They're just nosediving right now. Josh Allen versus Baker Mayfield, buckle up. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm taking the Bills. The Bucks are still banged up, even though they got Bucky Irving back. I still don't know who Baker Mayfield's going to throw to. I think this is a bounce back game for Buffalo.
No, I agree. As crazy as this one is, I think honestly, a smart man would take the Buccaneers. I don't know why, but I just feel like the Bills are just falling apart right now. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not so smart. I'm gonna go Bills too. I don't know. This is a tough one. This is
Bills
really
can't afford another loss,
no.
especially with how the AFC is just looking like a complete logjam.
Yeah, they're back. Their backs are against the wall. Texans at Titans. So AFC South battle. We got the Texans heading on down. They dominated the Titans in the last meeting. So can Cam Ward and the Titans respond at home? So we'll see. What do you think?
No, Texans are going to win.
No.
Titans have yet to win a home game. So even with Davis Mills, I think Texans win this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yes. No, the U is not back, Titans. Just kidding. I know. Yeah, it's sad.
Ward
Bears
is from
and
the
Vikings.
U, though.
I know, right? Yes, true. So Bears and Vikings. Next up, NFC North tension at its finest. So Bears rolling behind Caleb Williams, but Skull needs this game, man, to get back in the playoff race. The Vikings, man, they're so up and down. What do you think?
Man, if there's ever a must-win game, it's got to be this one. But Chicago's playing good football. I'm going to say Chicago, but in a close one. Minnesota's got a real good defense, and Caleb Williams struggles with some elite defenses. But I think he breaks through. Chicago needs this one to stay atop the NFC North. Give me the Bears in a close one.
I think so too. That's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna go Vikings. We're gonna see. This will be a good game. Packers versus Giants. So a get right opportunity for Green Bay as they look to rebound after a tough loss. While the Giants, man, they I don't know. They're just all over the place. I don't even know what they're doing right now. But who do you got?
I'll go with the Packers, but don't be surprised if the Giants pull this one off. They're more prone at winning at home instead of winning on the road. It's probably gonna rain, so that's gonna really affect the gameplay. Expect more running from Josh Jacobs. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, give me the Packers too. I just don't see this game going any other way, at all. Bengals and Steelers, AFC North battle with attitude. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Flacco, hey. Bengals that look to stay division. I don't know. I don't even know. This is the weirdest division in the world. I don't know. Terry, I don't even have an introduction for this game. We have a crazy looking AFC North game. The Steelers are weird. The Bengals are somewhat decently weird. Okay, I don't know how to say this. They're fired. I don't know. This is a crazy game. Bengals Steelers, Teran, with no words.
Well, you got to remember, Bengals beat the Steelers in the first meeting.
Yes.
I can't imagine Pittsburgh losing two in a row.
Neither.
Especially since their lead in the AFC North is dwindling. So I won't be surprised if they lose, but give me the Steelers to beat the Bengals. I just can't imagine Steelers having two clunker games in a row because after they beat the Colts. So give me the Steelers.
I'm Steelers right now, too. Chargers, Jaguars, Herbert, Lawrence, let's go. Chargers are riding a 3-game win streak, looking dangerous. But Jaguars, let's see if they can bounce back. I don't know, Teran. I'm going Chargers in this one. How about you?
Well, the last time these two teams met was the dreaded 27-0 game for the Chargers, which I still have PTSD in terms of remembering that game. I got the Chargers winning, but this is going to be a tight one. I think if the Chargers think that they're going to roll into Jacksonville and win this one easy, they have another thing coming. Jacksonville is in desperation mode right now. So I'll take the Chargers, but they really have to play to their potential. They need another Pittsburgh Steelers game. And if they ever grab the lead, don't lose it. Please, please, please. But I'm sure they're not going to have another moment like that.
Well, let's hope not. Seahawks versus Rams, a heavyweight NFC West clash. Cooper Kupp returns to LA, but in a Seahawks uniform, while the Rams continue to roll behind Stafford and Nakua. This one's a little personal, playoff type of stuff happening here in the second half of the season. Who are you taking?
Oh, this one I think is the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, they've won like 10 straight away games dating back to last year. This is a good Seahawks team. Their defense is elite, but let me just tell you, the Rams are playing really good offensively. Matthew Stafford looks like the MVP of the league. I'm going to take the Rams. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a high-scoring affair, but I think the Rams get it done. I think the Rams, they have a lot to prove when it comes to this game. And whoever wins is going to be in first place in the NFC West.
Heck yeah, man. So we got about 3.5 minutes, if that. Niners, Cardinals, Brock Purdy returns. Niners head to the desert looking to reclaim momentum. But Bird Gang would love a little spoiler at home. What do you think?
Whether it's Mac Jones or whether it's Brock Purdy, I've got the Niners being the Cardinals. No Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Cardinals. And I just think their offense is too inconsistent. So give me the Niners. Expect another Christian McCaffrey masterclass.
I'm with it. Ravens at Browns. Lamar is back. Cleveland is desperate. What do you think?
This is an easy one. Give me the Ravens.
All day,
They're
over and
going to
over.
continue to roll.
Chiefs at Broncos. Massive AFC West tilt. Mahomes and the Chiefs Kingdom need this one to stay alive. Honestly, I believe that. But Bo Nix and the Broncos, man, these guys are set at 8-2. This is going to be a fun one.
I'm going to take the Chiefs just because even though they're 1-3 on the road, I think this is where they shine. I think this is where the Chiefs expose the Broncos, and this is where the Broncos have their letdown spot. And obviously, the Chiefs could ill afford to lose this one because if they get further and further behind, then playoffs might not be in the cards for them. And that's a rare thing for me to say. But Chiefs need this win in the worst way. I think they find a way to steal one on the road against the Broncos.
I agree with that, good sir. Well, with that, man, we are now on to our last two, our primetime games. Sunday, and let's cue that music, man. Sunday night football. Lions at Eagles, man. Primetime fireworks incoming. Lions rolling to Philly with one of the league's hottest teams. Eagles, man, they stand tall behind a ferocious defense. And Jalen Hurts, what do you think, man? Could this be an NFC Championship preview?
I think it will. This was last year's NFC Championship that never was. So I'm going to take the Eagles in a close one. But if their offense plays like they did against Green Bay, then I could see the Lions winning. But I'll take the Eagles in a close one.
Yo, me too, man. Then Monday Night Football, a game I don't even want to watch. Cowboys versus Raiders, an emotional night in Vegas. Cowboys take the field for the first time, unfortunately, since the tragic loss of Marshawn Neiland. Rest in peace, man. While the Raiders look to break their home skid, which they suck. Dak versus Geno under the lights, Monday Night Football. I don't know, Teran. Toilet Bowl, what do you think?
I got the Cowboys. I mean, both these teams are clown cars, but I think for the Dallas Cowboys, I think this is their big bounce back spot. And yeah, that was very tragic of Marshawn Neiland just passing. I think this is where the Dallas Cowboys defense balls out and they show up against the Raiders and play for him.
Well, obviously I'm always taking my Raiders, but they suck and they'll probably lose. So that's pretty much that. I mean, that's just, in a nutshell. But Teran, we made it, man. So obviously we got our picks in. We will talk about those primetime games tomorrow, get you more prepared for those. Coming up 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow at the very end of the afternoon slate of games. But there you have it, Teran. We are done. Games have already started. We're a half an hour into college football. And there it is, good sir. Any other games you want to shout out? Anything else, man, you want to throw out there? Have some fun. Whatever. Any level of football before we're out of here.
Marietta Valley wound up winning their playoff game against Rancho Cucamonga, which sets up their CIF Southern Section Division II semifinal matchup against Los Alamitos, which I think is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be run game versus run game because Marietta Valley loves to run the ball, and Los Alamitos is a really good running back in Lenny Ibarra, so keep an eye on that.
That is going to be awesome, man. Looking forward to that. Big ups to the Nighthawks in Marietta Valley, man. Looking strong. Yeah, man, big ups to everybody. Really excited. Unfortunately, the Paris Panthers, man, they would fall last night to Coachella Valley like 49 to like 14 or something like that. But congratulations. First playoff game at home in over 30 years. First playoff victory in over 30 years. Congratulations to the Paris Panthers, man, my high school. And just big ups to everybody, man. Everybody else. All you football players out there, keep digging, keep hustling, keep working hard, man. Only the best is yet to come. So there you go, Teran. We are out of here, man. We will see you guys tomorrow. For Mr. Teran Rodriguez, for me, your boy Larry B. Hope you like our new artwork in the background. That's right. Thank you, AI. We will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.
Peace.
Peace.